Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the second shelf. I always thought, I don't do book hauls that often, and mostly I do them when I was in Amsterdam because there are many English language bookstores, and then I buy a stack of books, and then I'm so proud I show them to you. But it turns out I don't even have to travel to Amsterdam to acquire a stack of books. So here's a book haul for January without any travel to Amsterdam. And it turns out the first three books I didn't even have to acquire myself. They were sent to me by Shawn, all the way from Japan. Shawn and I read books together a lot and we talk a lot, and I said that I wanted to read more Canadian writers, female writers, especially from the area where Shawn was born, Saskatchewan, and he sent me three books. Look, 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 look. So I will start with those three. And keep in mind, those three books, I didn't pick them myself, so I don't know a lot about them, but they all sound fascinating. And Shawn kindly enough left little notes inside, but I'm not going to talk to you about those notes because they are private. Ha! So the first one is this one, Sharon Butala, who is a Canadian author from Saskatchewan, born in Saskatchewan, where Shawn is from. And by the way, I leave a link to his channel down below, Shawn the Book Maniac. And if you're not subscribed, go now and subscribe. So this book was first published in 1988, and from what I understand, from what I read in the back, it's about Selena, who is she knows the meaning of sacrifice. After 20 years on her husband's Saskatchewan farm, the rhythm of children, family, and tradition are bred in her bones. And the book is about her and other women who surround Selena, her aunt, but also her daughter Phoebe. And something happens, obviously, because it says, and Phoebe faces a choice that might force them all to reconsider their beliefs, the beliefs and the ways they have always known. So that sounds fascinating. This will probably be a buddy read with Shawn. I hope, at least. So I'm really looking forward, quite a short one, to diving into more Saskatchewan literature. And the second book Shawn sent me is this one, Anne-Marie MacDonald, Fall on Your Knees, which was first published in 1996. It's a debut novel. It's Anne-Marie MacDonald's first one. Anne-Marie is also a Canadian writer. She lives in Toronto, but she was born in Germany, close to my own hometown. She was born in Baden-Baden, which is about half an hour drive from where I was born. So that makes it even more interesting. I've never heard of her. Shame on me, Shawn. Please forgive me. But she is obviously one of Canadians' best known contemporary writers. She was born in 1958. And this one not only became a national bestseller, but won a lot of prizes. Is set in the early 20th century and follows, it's a family epic about four sisters in the Piper family set in Nova Scotia. Now, Nova Scotia always fascinated me because it's so remote, and I don't know, the name already fascinates me. And I love family sagas, family histories, when multi-generational, and especially when it centers around women. And this one does. It's about four sisters and their lives in the setting of Nova Scotia. Like I said, I don't know a lot about the book, but it sounds really interesting. And the third book I got from Shawn is this one, Helen Humphreys' The Lost Garden, which was first published in 2002. And I at least know the name of Helen Humphreys, although I've never read anything by her. Helen Humphreys was born in London in 1961, but moved to Canada, and she lives now in Ontario, in Kingston. The Lost Garden is set in 1941 during the Second World War, and the main character, Gwen Davis, is a 35-year-old horticulturalist, and she leaves London for the countryside, Devon, to be a gardener, to supervise the planting of crops for the war effort. She is there to supervise not only the planting, but also the land girls, as they are called, who have to do the work with her. And then she meets a Canadian officer who is stationed there. There's something going on there, I think, but it's also about the young girls she has to supervise, and there is a secret garden. I mean, what more do you want? I always love stories that combine, you know, a historical setting, like here the Blitz, the war effort, the Second World War in London, 1941, with a personalized history from a different angle. And certainly a gardener, a horticulturist, is a different angle. And by the way, this book was not even from Shawn, even though he sent it to me, but it was from his mother. So thank you very much, Shawn's mother, for picking this book for me. And then there are a couple of books I acquired just by myself. The first one is this. I already started it, hence the bookmark. Sheila, Heti, Motherhood, which came out last year. I mean, motherhood. Anyway, cover design. Sheila Heti is also a Canadian author. So, Shawn, there you go. I can pick Canadian authors all by myself. She was born in 1976, so she is, from my perspective, a very young author. And you might have heard about her book, How Should a Person Be, which was published, I think, 2 or 3 years ago, sort of auto fiction in which it's a novel, but the main character is Sheila trying to find her way as an artist. This one is, as the title suggests, about motherhood. It's also, again, what I would call auto fiction. So the main character is Sheila herself, when she is in her now 30s, pondering the question whether or not she should have children. The novel is discussing this question, as you might say, over the course of several years, and influences from peers and family, society, pressure. And I picked this book for my own book project, in which I wanted to read in the first part books about marriage and motherhood and working women, and how contemporary younger authors deal with that subject. So I'm really looking forward to getting on with this one. The next book I bought is a book that I've been wanting to read for almost 20 years. It came out in 2000, and that's this one, Helen de Wit, The Last Samurai. Helen de Wit is American author from Maryland. She was born in 1957, I think, if I remember that correctly. And The Last Samurai is about a single mother and her son Ludo, her young son Ludo, and he's a sort of a prodigy child. He reads Homer when he's 7 or something, and he's fascinated and obsessed by the movie The Seven Samurais. He doesn't know about his father, and he goes searching for his father with this movie in mind. That always sounded fascinating to me, but like I said, it's 20 years almost, and I haven't read it. I will buddy read this finally now in February together with Adam from Memento Mori. I will leave a link to his channel, of course, down below. He has been in a bit of a slack lately, not making that many videos. So, Adam, please come back and make videos again. So we will be reading this together in February, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then there are 3 more books I bought, but I will mention them only briefly because I read them already and I talked about them in my video last Sunday, the Recent Reads video. So I'm just going to mention it for those of you who might have missed the video. The first one is this, Crudo by Olivia Lang, set in 2017 in a summer, talking about politics, and the main character is about to marry, but it's mainly focusing on the current politics in 2017. So Brexit, Trump, you know, all that kind of stuff. If you're interested, watch the Recent Reads of last Sunday, and that goes for the next 2 books as well. First, this one, which is a biography of Eve Babbitt, a fascinating character who lived, she's still alive, but she lived in the 1960s and 1970s in Los Angeles, having first a sort of a quasi-groupie life and then becoming an artist and an author herself. And this is a combination of a biography and the author's, Lily Anulik's, own obsession with Eve Babbitts, whom she meets and whom she talks to. I really like this book, so maybe you're interested as well. And then I rebought this one, Eve's Hollywood by Eve Babbitts, her first collection of essays about life in Los Angeles in the 1960s and 70s, but also sort of more fictionalized accounts of the people she met. And I love Eve Babbitts' writing, so I really enjoyed reading this one. So these were all the books that I acquired in January, most of them by myself, but the book gifts are the best gifts. So again, thank you very much, Shawn, for sending those books to me, and Shawn's mother for picking one of those. Talk to me down in the comments if you read any of the books that I hauled in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all soon in the next one. Bye bye.